In this lecture, we're setting ourselves up so that when we run through our trigger volume, we trigger our objects to come to life and fly at the player. Let's get started. What we're about to do is very similar to what we did in our object hit script. If we have a look at that, you can see that we've got on collision enter, we're colliding with something that is being named other, then we say if the other is player, then do some things. So we're going to do the same mechanism, but instead of collision, we're looking at trigger. First of all, we need a trigger. I'm going to go into the hierarchy, right-click, create 3D object and cube, and just put this somewhere in my scene near-ish to the player. Just need to make sure I know where it is, just in front of the player there. Cool. Hit F to zoom in on it. Now, we don't need to be able to see anything for a trigger volume. Usually, sometimes you might have a trigger volume that you kind of see, it has some substance to it, but usually we don't want to see it. We want it to be invisible. Therefore, I'm going to turn off the mesh render, or we could just right click and remove the entire mesh renderer component. So there it is. I've just got this green box now. I can scale that, hit R, and then scale it on a few dimensions. Make sure we're not touching it right at the start. That might make something go a little bit wonky in terms of our plan. Make sure it's high enough and wide enough, the player's definitely going to connect with it as they run through. Now, if we expand our box collider component, we've talked about this briefly before, we've got is trigger, we need to select that on. If we don't select that on, we'll just go bump and bump into this. But now that that's turned on, we pass through this volume. And the moment we pass through it, the game knows, oh, hang on, something passed through me just here. So let's make some code to take care of that. We'll create ourselves a new script, right click down in the project area, create a mono behavior script, and we'll call this trigger projectile. Trigger projectile, did that work properly? Trigger projectile, yes it did. I'm going to find my cube and rename this to be trigger volume. And then I'll drag my trigger projectile on top of my trigger volume, or I could click add component, or I could drag it over here in the hierarchy. So we've got the trigger projectile script, which is sitting on the trigger volume game object. Now let's open up trigger projectile script. I don't actually need all this stuff in here. I keep creating these scripts that we don't need all the stuff. I'm going to delete start, and I'm going to delete update. Now, instead of, let's have a look at object hit. Instead of on collision enter, we're going to have a very similar method, which is on trigger enter. And as I've said before, we can do on trigger exit, or we can do on trigger stay. There's a bunch of other things here to do with triggers. Let's do on trigger enter. That will complete our statement here. Again, we've talked about we don't need this private at the start of our method, but it puts it in there anyway, just to say this is private within this context of this class. I'll just pop my brackets on the next line because I like it looking that way, but you don't have to. You could leave it where it was. What do we need next? Well, if other.gameObject.tag equals what? You should know this one. Yell it at the screen so all your neighbors hear and think you're crazy. We need our quotation marks and then player with an uppercase P. So if the tag is player, then we need our curly braces here. We do something. What are we going to do? Well, that's interesting. Let's go back and have a look. You know what? I'm going to take a particular approach to this. And a lot of what we're doing in this project, I'm trying to keep as simple and beginner friendly as possible. So if you've got a little bit of programming knowledge, I invite you to go about being a bit more creative in how you solve this. But for now, I'm trying to keep it super simple. I'm going to take one of my projectiles. Let's take the first projectile here. So the projectile at the top. I'm going to say, I want that projectile to awaken and fly at the player. That's going to be, I think, the simplest conceptually and a fine way to do it. And you can see up in our projectile, we've got our little tick box that turns the entire projectile on or off. And so if it's entirely clicked off, you won't see it. There will be no collision. The script won't work. Nothing at all will happen. And that's good for us because this script is basically saying, as soon as you wake up, go for it. Do your thing. That we've got our fly at player script. So we're going to trigger this by saying, okay, as soon as the player runs through the trigger volume, then turn this projectile on and it will go towards the player. It's quite a simplistic approach, but it'll do what we want to do for now. It's fine for now, but it's not necessarily perfect. That's okay. So we'll go back over into our trigger projectile script. And up at the top here, I'm going to make a reference to that projectile so we can say, this is the projectile that we're referring to. I know I said the same thing twice there. So serialized field, and we're looking for a game object because we want to be able to turn the game object on and off. So that's why we're looking for game object. And we'll call it projectile, semicolon. Now within our if statement, if the player is tagged, then we want to awaken this object. And the way that we're going to do that is by starting off by saying we're referring to projectile dot set active, and then in parentheses, we will set this to true. That is the way that we awaken it. So this is where we're saying I'm the trigger volume, and I'm going to take responsibility for knowing if the player bumped into me. And I'm also going to take responsibility for knowing what objects need to come alive when the player bumps into me. So all of this is residing, all this responsibility is residing on this trigger volume here. So I'm going to save and back over into Unity. Now we need to click on our trigger volume. And you can see under our trigger projectile script, we have a reference to a projectile. It's saying, I need you to tell me who you're talking about. So click on the little selector thingy next to projectile down the right side there, and I'll select projectile, just the projectile with no number next to it, because that's the first one I created. So all of these things are going to fly at me when I click on play, because they're all been set up. They've got the fly at player script to say, go for it, do it straight away. So I'm going to highlight all of those and just turn them all off, deselect them all, hide them all, if you will. They're still in the hierarchy, but we don't see them in the world and they're not active at all. I'll just click on the trigger volume so we can see that. It's nice and clear. Click in my game view, and then as I move forward, boop, now that projectile comes flying at the position that I was when I went through the trigger volume. All of the other projectiles aren't doing anything because we haven't told them to be active and to fly at me. I know that there's other ways that we can do this, but I really want to be nice and slow and steady and get very mechanical about when I connect this trigger volume to that game object. That allows that game object to be enabled, and then that game object can run its script, which is sitting there ready to run, and it flies at me. So hopefully conceptually that all clicks for you. And I have a challenge. And the challenge is to trigger multiple projectiles. So in our script, create references to 4 more projectiles, that'll make a total of 5, and connect them in the inspector, and then to trigger all 5 projectiles when we run through our trigger volume. So there's your challenge. Pause the video. I'll see you back here when you've given it a go. Let me go over to my trigger projectile script, and I'm going to do this in a fairly mechanical, clunky, near enough is good enough kind of way. There's better ways to do it, but I'm going to do this in a way that should make absolute sense to all of us. I'm going to create 5 game object variables, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm going to call the first one projectile 1, projectile 2, projectile 3, projectile 4, projectile 5, just so it's really, really clear what's going on here in our code. Then when we say, if we bump into the player, well, I need projectile 1 dot set active, and I'm going to copy that, paste projectile 2, 3, 4, 5. I need to go back and change those numbers in there. Whoop, 3, 4, and 5. And if you solve this a totally different way to the way I've solved it, that's great, particularly if you're a more advanced programmer and you've done something a little bit more sophisticated. That's fantastic. I just wanted to do this in a very straightforward, obvious way, and also make the point there's plenty of different ways to complete our objective. So now that we've got all of this, I go back over into Unity. If I look at my trigger volume, I should have 5 spots in here where I need to put projectiles. Yep, projectile 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's great that we can see that. Click on the selector. I'll choose my first projectile, click on it again, my second projectile, click on it again, third projectile, and so on. Let's set all these up. 4. How come I don't have 5? 1, 2, 3, 4. Did I make a 5th one? Oh, I missed 2. That's okay. It doesn't need to be in order, but there's projectile 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and blank. Now when I click on play, what we should see is when I go through the trigger volume, whoop, if I can do it correctly, all of them fly at me because we've got all these different objects that have been set up. So there we go. That's a very basic way of connecting a reference to multiple game objects and triggering those game objects to come to life and work their magic when I run through that trigger volume. If you're looking at it and saying, something about it's just not working, there's a very good chance that you've not clicked on is trigger. It's really important that we have is trigger turned on. Is trigger turned on and the player has a rigid body. They're the 2 main things when we have trigger or collision type issues. There we go. That's what I wanted to cover in this lecture. I will see you in the next one.